Okay. First, Greg. Do you have your Greg Murphy New Zealand driving school yet? Bob McMurray, do you still feel the same way about Nelson Piquet Jr.? Chris, are you going to be an extra in the Bruce McLaren film, or with your helmet on you could probably still drive? And Craig, what do you drive, and do you have a car collection?
Michael.
Sorry, Michael.
What do I drive? Do I have a car collection?
He's a racing driver.
Yes.
That's right.
There are 3 racing drivers up top here, and me. Michael.
What do I drive? I drive a car which I continue to get stick from my friend on to my immediate left here, who can't believe an Alfa Romeo can still be going without having broken down yet. But I drive an Alfa 159, and I've had it 23 months, and I absolutely love it as much today as when I got it 23 months ago.
But he's also got a Formula Ford.
I've got the world's largest Formula Ford. I'm 6'3" and 100 and something kilos, and it needed to be the world's largest Formula Ford for me to get into. And in fact, next Sunday, I'm hoping that I'm going to keep all the wheels on it around Pukekohe. But anyway, enough about me. You had questions for these other guys.
Chris, I think you.
Sorry, I've forgotten the question.
I was just curious whether you were going to be in the Bruce McLaren film as a driver or an extra. Interestingly
enough, I'm having a meeting at 4:30 this afternoon with one of the directors, producers on that very subject. It's going to be interesting discussions.
My feelings about Piquet haven't really changed, although this latest, call it a scandal, I don't know if it is, alleged.
What were your original thoughts on Piquet?
I think he's a tosser.
Right.
Bob,
thanks for clearing that up.
The one thing we just hope, and we had a little meeting before we came in here, is Bob tends to sit on the fence, and I've said to him, please, can you just say what you think, and because it's so hard to read him sometimes.
Now, look, I did say, and if the reason you asked the question is probably you heard me talking about him before, I respect any person driving Formula One, don't get me wrong. Just to get there is massive, absolutely massive. It's estimated that 25,000 drivers around the world are trying to get into Formula One at any one time. That's their aspiration. So to actually get there is huge. So please don't knock it for that. But once you get there, you've got to perform, and I don't think Piquet should have been there in the first place, to be honest. And no, my feelings really haven't changed about him. I'd be really interested to see what's going to happen about this Renault Alonso Singapore jobby that's coming up soon. And how they can prove that, I don't know, but I'll be interested to see what the result is. Murph, yours.
No, I haven't got a driving school up and going, but one of my passions is to certainly improve young driver safety in New Zealand and reduce the road toll in this country, which is one of the worst road tolls in the world, especially in a civilized Western country, OECD. We've got the worst death rate in the world. It's just shocking. So it definitely needs to be a driving school, but I think we need to start by actually having some education about driving, and rather than currently where we have none, we're not required to go through any education whatsoever to get your licence. And we've got some very unique roads in this country. They're fantastic, but it demands respect. And these days, unfortunately, we don't require drivers to have any respect when they get their licence. It's just it's more of an expectation that you turn 15 and you can wander off and get in a vehicle and off you go. And we need to change those rules and regulations to give kids, young people, experience before they're set free, because it's a dangerous environment, but we don't seem to travel along thinking that it is. So that's what I'm trying to do here at the moment, spending some time and involved with some parties that feel the same way, and trying to hopefully get the government to listen, which I think they are. I think they've got some great things, initiatives that they're working on at the moment, and I think it's been a long time coming, but hopefully it will change.
Right, who's next?
Someone else has got to have one.
Yes, sir.
Right down the front.
Here comes the microphone.
Chris, when you're driving in Formula One. What are the G-forces like?
Sorry.
What are the G-forces like?
The question is, what were the G-forces
G-forces.
like in Formula One?
Today they're phenomenal. Actually, Bob probably knows better than me, but I think something up to 5 Gs lateral.
What about in your day, though?
My day, it was probably more like the sort of 1.5 to 2 maximum, I would have thought, and that was bad enough on the neck. I just have no idea what 5G feels like, but what do you pull in your cars, Greg?
Oh, our braking G's probably more than our lateral cornering. I think we were about 1.5, 1.6 under brakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at current Formula Ones, I think you're right. I think it's about up around 5. I mean, I think I saw at Spa they had a G meter on the coverage the other day, and it was over 4 lateral. 4 Gs lateral through the corners. Now that's 4 times the weight of gravity on your neck. I mean, that's an immense amount of pressure to withstand, and that's those guys. I think probably that was one of the reasons Schumacher decided not to race the Ferrari, replacing Felipe Massa, was the fact that he hasn't been in a car for so long, and he's also recovering from a motorcycle injury or crash. And he was worried that his neck wasn't going to be able to take the loadings throughout the race, and therefore he wasn't going to be able to do the job he needed to do. So it's the pressures on a Formula One driver are unique. They're far, far different to any other form of motorsport.
I think to illustrate the G-forces as well, if you have a top of the range Lexus or something like that, and you're rushing along the road and you put your foot as hard as possible on the brakes. You brake as hard as you possibly can. You're maybe pulling half a G, about half a G.
If you've got in a proper car like a Holden, it'd probably be a little bit more than that. But,
that's because they skid and hit walls, and then you're pulling 10 G.
Pure performance, Bob.
In a Formula One car, if they take their foot off the throttle with all the downforce, that's immediately 1 G forcing you. So without any brakes at all, it's 1 G in a Formula One car, and that's due to the downforce, due to the way the electronics of the engine are, the fuel shut-off and all that sort of stuff. So cornering these days, as Greg says, it's 5 G. And when you saw Spa, I think on TV, when they're going down through Eau Rouge, they go down, they turn left, and they turn right, and they go up. It was 5 G left, at the same time as a 3 G down force, then a 4 G to the right, and then a 2 G upward lift as they're going up there. This all happened in about a second and a half, something like that. So, you've got to keep your eyes on the road at the same time. Bit difficult. Chris, what was it like through Eau Rouge when you were there? Because they've changed it a little bit over the years, haven't they?
It's a bit wider now, but it was always a wonderful corner, Eau Rouge. I really can't remember what sort of speed we were taking it at, but it was probably sort of 160 odd miles. Now, it certainly wasn't flat. But
I went through there on a bike and I got myself scared, and that's a push bike. Yeah.
But it's a lot wider now, and they've got much bigger runoff areas. But I think it's absolutely flat.
Yeah, well, they changed it to because there was so many issues with it, and obviously the speed through Eau Rouge, it's quite famous, obviously was very high. But they changed it to be flat in a Formula One car, so they didn't have to lift. And they thought, and obviously to make it safer, so there wasn't so much room for error. If they made the corners flat in a Formula One, the fastest race cars that go through there, then they figured that was safer than having the opportunity for someone to get the corner wrong by having to lift off the throttle or slow down and crash. So it's a
Of course, some of the
different
cars
scenario.
they're going fast through there faster now because they've got the KERS fitted and they're coming down the hill faster, so they're going through the corner faster as well. So even that corner may well be too much for Formula One cars in years to come.